The news media weighs in on Trump's what's called the hush money trial. This is in New York. So remember, this went under Alvin Bragg, although Alvin Bragg, he's just their corrupt leader. He's not the actual judge taking the case. We're going to get into the judge. And this is a basic kind of trying to familiarize myself with this case in case it does go to trial. And it looks like it's heading to go there within the next 2 weeks in New York. So welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel. This is where the happy patriots are. This is where I try and keep you posted on Trump's journey to the White House. So there's kind of two prongs to this. One is the election that TV is talking about, which is which state and primary is he winning in? And the other one is the Democrats' plan to do election interference. So we cover that through the lawsuits and all the shenanigans with Jack Smith, Fani Willis, and all that. So those are the two kinds of shows you're going to start seeing between now and election day. So here we go. I scan the news and I start seeing these articles show up. So here's an example. MSNBC News. Trump intends to highlight lawyers' involvement as part of his hush money defense. Okay. And then here's CNN. Trump team says it'll argue lawyers' involvement in alleged hush money scheme. And then here's ABC News. After Trump seeks delay in hush money trial, judge tells him to get permission before filing. So we're going to go to that CNN article, but it just shows that like the news is starting to cover this now. So we're going to cover it. Trump team says it'll argue lawyers' involvement in alleged hush money scheme shows Trump had no intent to commit crimes. That's this is going to get a little detailed, and I'm not going to get into too much of the detail. I'll read some of this article. Mostly, I'm trying to get the names of the judge down and the court if it goes to trial, because I don't want to get into too much of what it's about with Stormy Daniels. This is him allegedly paying off a porn star. By the way, just so you know, the first piece of news is they call it the hush money case. That's what the news is settled on. Hush money trial. Hush money trial. That already implies his guilt that he paid hush money. See how this works? Donald Trump's defense team says it will emphasize his past lawyer's involvement. That's Cohen was his last lawyer, involvement in payments at the center of an alleged hush money scheme when his New York criminal trial related to the matter goes to trial later this month. By the way, they still don't know that it will because Trump is trying to appeal his way out of it going to trial. Delay going out of trial. The former president's legal team filed a notice with the court Monday declaring they will not use a formal advice of counsel defense in Trump's upcoming trial. Just to let you know what advice of counsel is, it's when Trump would say, well, sure, I paid them off, but my lawyer told me to. So under advice of my counsel, I did the wrong thing. Well, what that does is then the prosecution, the bad guys, can come in and say, oh, okay, so your communication with your legal team is your excuse. We want all of your interactions with them, all of your direct messages, all of your emails with that legal team in discovery. See what I mean? They can legit ask for it. So Trump's team is just doing something unique that I haven't seen before and apparently isn't very common. He's not going to make that claim of advice of counsel. So you don't need to to get his messages there. Where he'll face 34 counts of falsifying business records in connection with the hush money payments to an adult film star, that's Stormy Daniels, facilitated by Trump's one-time personal attorney, Michael Cohen, and others. Now, Michael Cohen, the reason why CNN says and others is because Michael Cohen is the key criminal in this case. Michael Cohen has already perjured himself on the stand. He's been known as a liar. Alina Habba has come out and just said, if Michael Cohen's involved with your team's strategy at all.
Based on testimony from Michael Cohen, who walked into that courtroom and under oath in open court, admitted that he perjured himself.
We've done videos on him before, but this guy's a real screw up. So this was Trump's old lawyer they're calling him the bag man, kind of like he would, if Trump wanted to pay off someone like Stormy Daniels, he'd be the kind of guy that would go and take care of the payments. Okay, so that's Michael Cohen. They will, however, suggest that Trump's use of lawyers to facilitate the transactions at issue shows he has no intent to commit any crimes, the filing says. So the prosecution has to show that he has intent, and the defense is going to say he may have committed crimes. Trump has pleaded not guilty to the charge in the case. The state Supreme Court, now here's the guy that we'll be talking about from here on out when I do follow-ups on this case. Judge Juan Merchan, M-E-R-C-H-A-N, I'll have to find out the pronunciation of that, if it's Merkin or Merchan, had ordered Trump's attorneys to give notice by Monday if they were going to present the legal theory at trial, to give prosecutors enough time to prepare and potentially compel Trump to turn over more records. So see, he has to, if they go down this route, then they have to turn over more of his direct messages if he's going to say, no, it was between me and my attorney. Here's the bad news for Trump. Jury selection is scheduled to begin March 25th, that's the end of this month, in what is set to be the first criminal indictment against Trump to go to trial. Now, if this goes to trial, this ties Trump up in a courtroom if he has to show up. So that's going to be terrible for his campaign, which is the only thing I'm concerned about is Trump being president, because all this goes away. You get him to president. The Democrats, this did not work. Merchan has not yet ruled on Trump's recent motion to delay the trial until the U.S. Supreme Court weighs in on his presidential immunity claims. So this whole thing could still be delayed and not even go to trial this month if Trump is found to be immune, or if this judge agrees to wait, Judge Merchan agrees to wait until we find out if Trump's immune. Now, I don't think Democrats like waiting on that stuff. They like going in and screwing up his campaign while they can. That's my guess is what they'll do. This is where you guys vote. I'm Doug in Exile.